Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I talk about books, writing, and all things book publishing. Today I will be going into, more in depth into book coaching and what exactly it is, how it can help your writing process as a writer. And then at the very end, I have a special surprise for any of you who are looking to write and publish a book. So stay tuned and watch till the end to see what exactly that will be. So first, let's go into the differences between an editor and a book coach. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with editors and the work that they do, but some of you may be wondering, what's the difference between a book coach and an editor? Or I already have an editor, what would be the benefit for me to also have a book coach? I'm just gonna read a quote that I found from a book coach that I think really illustrates the difference between, or at least the main difference between an editor and a book coach. So this book coach writes, "When people ask me what a book coach does, I often talk about shepherding a book project, which is true. We absolutely do that, but it's frequently about shepherding the writer as well. Unlike editors who usually work on finished manuscripts, book coaches are in it with the writers. We make a promise to go through the entire creative process with them, which means helping them through their doubt as it rises and falls." This is the real difference between being an editor who normally has one crack at a manuscript, who works on it at one moment in time, and a coach who is on the whole journey with the writer, who is teaching them how to have faith in the book they want to write while they are writing it. So in my opinion, this perfectly sums up the difference between an editor and a book coach. An editor is there to edit the manuscript itself, whether it's developmental editing, content editing, or making line edits, copy edits, proofreads at the very end. The focus is always on the manuscript itself. The coach, on the other hand, manages just different parts of the project. They help you stay accountable, motivate you. They're there as your personal cheerleader along the way. They're there for you throughout the whole process, basically. They're there as emotional support as well as for project management. They help you along the way when you have doubts about your writing and about your work. They are there to give you the harsh truths with, compassion and empathy. Writing in itself is a very solitary activity, and a book coach really helps the writer see from a third person perspective, their whole process and how they're putting everything together, not only for personal support and moral support, but also support for the actual book. And what I mean by that is, the book's marketability as well. A lot of book coaches encourage you to dig deep into why you're writing this book and who this book is going to be for, who's going to be reading this book, who's your ideal reader. They know the marketplace, they know their genre, they're familiar with the pitch process, whether you're pitching a fiction novel to an agent or a publisher, or you're writing a book proposal to pitch that to agents or publishers. Different book coaches specialize in different genres, but what they all have in common is that they're there to help you put your ideas to the page and write the book that is inside yourself to write. I myself have worked with editors before on my previous books, but there's something special about having an all-in-one, someone there to support you throughout the entire process, to help you when you have doubts, ask you the right questions, and help you dig down into your deep why and who you're writing to and why you're writing this book. What's the point of this book? And also just to have someone to turn to, for any question you might have about publishing process, any fears you might have about sending your work out into the world to be rejected. Like, let's face it, writing and publishing is filled with a lot of rejection. As writers, a lot of times we have to really accept that and take that on as part of the process when we're writing and putting our work out. The book coach is there to help you manage those emotions and help make your book the best it can be so that you minimize those rejections. A book coach can't guarantee your work will get accepted because there's no guarantees about anything in life, but they will help you create the best book that you could possibly create. And they can help you make your book the best version of your book that it can be. I've actually had the pleasure of working with a book coach myself. I'm working with one right now. And to be honest, I was actually surprised at how much further I got with this book than I have with my previous books. And the only difference was having this coach along for the ride with me. When I write, I often have the bias of, writing from my perspective and writing the thing that I want to write, and my book coach really helped me see things from the reader's point of view. I think that's really valuable if you want to actually write a book that sells, because readers are going to be reading it, they're going to be buying it. So this is an important thing if you want to write a book that sells. And the other thing that book coaches really help with is they help with the teaching aspect. Editors do this too. I learned a lot from having my work edited, my series. I learned a lot about my writing and what I tend to do. My editor really helped me with this. But working with a book coach took me even further with this, because I not only learned what I do with my writing that could be improved, but also, like I said, my readers, the marketability of my book, having a call, a face-to-face call with my book coach, and having the book coach manage the project really took a load off me, because I usually manage all these things myself. Like, I manage my own time when I'm writing, and I'm usually all over the place with timing. I'm really good with finishing, but I will work at all hours, and I won't really pace myself. But my book coach really helped me pace myself with the writing. And she really helped me move things along in a way that I wouldn't have done myself. I think a book coach is really helpful, like very helpful for people who are looking for accountability. For those of you who would really like support in actually sitting down, writing, finishing the project, and having those weekly deadlines that you externally need to meet in order to move forward, I think a book coach is really helpful for those of you who are interested in that. It's just really a win-win, and as soon as I heard of this thing called book coaching, I was interested immediately, because I really see the benefit that writers can have through working with a coach. There's a reason why coaching is a growing industry these days. I'm gonna link a really interesting TED Talk that I found talking about how coaching can increase your productivity in any kind of work that you do. I'll link it down in the description below. It's a really good one. And it makes a lot of sense to me. So why would writing be any different, right? We tend to think of coaches when it comes to sports and how coaches can work with athletes and help them become the best they can be. But what about for other fields? It's interesting how coaching is now being integrated into other fields in this way. And I think it's going to be very useful for people. People are improving in ways that they wouldn't be able to do on their own. Whether it's being able to improve faster, getting through their blind spots and being able to see things they wouldn't have seen otherwise. I think it's very useful, and these experiments have shown that coaching can take you further with anything that you do. I guess since I'm talking about all the upsides of book coaching, I will talk a little about the downsides, or a bit about the cons. The only con really is the expense, the investment, and that can be a good thing as well, investing in yourself, investing in improving your writing. But not everyone can afford a book coach, especially because coaches can be on the pricey side. They're very high touch, which means that they're very personal, right? They're one-to-one. It's a service that's really focused on you and your improvement. So it's going to take a lot of the coach's time, and therefore it's going to be higher priced. But there are many different book coaches out there that specialize in different things, and some are higher priced than others. So you just kind of gotta see what you can afford right now and what suits your needs. But if that's worth it for you to have a successfully published book that is published by a publisher, picked up by an agent, as long as you're realistic about it and you know the possibilities of where it could lead. There are some genres that are just more marketable than others. There are just some things that do better than others. There's a lot of factors that play into it. Timing as well, you know, the era that we live in plays a huge role as well. What comes out alongside your book. There's a lot of factors we can't control. So you just have to be aware of that. And as long as you're realistic about all those things, then props to you for going for your dreams. All right, congratulations, you made it this far into the video. And now I will announce my bonus surprise for you guys. And that is that I'm offering free book coaching. Yeah, for free, for a limited time, for a limited number of people. So if you are looking to write either a fiction or a nonfiction book, then this might be for you. I have 3 slots available for each, fiction and nonfiction. Be sure to apply as soon as possible before those fill up. I will post the link to it in the description below of where you can apply to this. I will put 5 stars beside it so that you will see which link that is down below. All you got to do is fill out the contact form that will be on my website, and then I will get in contact with you about your book project. I'm currently working on becoming a certified book coach with Author Accelerator. You can check them out. I'll link them down in the description below as well. So those of you who will be working with me will also be my practice clients. So if you're okay with being my practice client as I work my way up to becoming certified, then feel free to apply down below. A lot of filming requires a lot of water. And this is a good opportunity, in my opinion, to try out book coaching for yourself, to see if it's something you might want to do down the road, if that's something you're interested in, you know, whether it's hiring a book coach or becoming a book coach yourself. In any case, why not try it out, right?
In a race against time, Aubrey Vale Quinn, daughter of a genius developer, must find and convince a hacker to fix Echo the AI before a mysterious and powerful unknown adversary gets to them first.